an American televangelist who recently grabbed my head, blessed me and blew in my face. His name is Peter Popoff, and he was a very successful faith healer in the 1980s. He seemed to know everything about his congregation to the point he seemed to be psychic. He seemed to be getting his information from heaven. He was that good that he caught the attention of a magician called James Randi, who went to one of his shows with a radio receiver. And when he turned it on, he heard the voice of Mrs. Popoff saying, "Petey, can you hear me? If not, we're in trouble." And she was passing information to him through an earpiece about the congregation. And so he was completely ruined and disgraced by this, and you can see he's not very happy. And he went bankrupt not long after that. But being completely publicly disgraced couldn't keep him down for long, because after this he found a definite, genuine miracle from God. What happened is he met a priest from the town near Chernobyl, and after the meltdown, the priest had prayed to God to save everybody, and God had answered by blessing a lake, and anyone who drank from the lake was blessed, and they didn't die of radiation poisoning. Yeah. So Petey dusted himself down and he started on his new life's mission, which was to spread this miracle far and wide for free, which was really nice of him, and not at all perhaps an attempt to get around advertising rules because he wasn't selling anything. He was just trying to help people out. So when I heard about this, I thought I have to get in on it. So I made a request for this water, and a few weeks later I received a very, very, very long letter, 6 double-sided pages with a small sachet of the water. And you'll see from the next slide, it's quite a difficult letter to read. But the gist of it was I was suffering from some difficulty, be it with my health, my love life, my housing. All I had to do was drink the water, send the empty packet back to Petey, and then God would solve all my problems. And I had to send £25 to Peter Popoff to prove my faith and obedience to God. And whilst I was still reading this letter, sort of reeling from it, I got another one, and another one, and another one, and they kept coming. And each one was the same, but they had different miracle things in them. So I got 3 different kinds of oil that I had to anoint either my face, my house, my money with, and send me just some money. There was the occasion that he sent me a gold and silver bracelet, which, when you see it, I would describe it as a cheap piece of gold and silver present ribbon. There you go. And he asked me for some money. He also sent me this lovely medal with a request for some money. He sent me some glitter with a request for some money. But to be fair to him, he didn't always send me, ask me for money. On one occasion, he did send this, which was a small bag that I was supposed to put some gold into, and send that to Petey to prove my faith and obedience to God. But then we go back to the request for money. So he did send me a Michael Jackson style white glove, which will come up, with a request for money, an extremely fetching silver slipper with a request for some money. And he sent me enough miracle multicoloured prayer cloths to make me biblical Joseph blush, all with a request for some money. And at this point I thought, well, I want to get more of this stuff, so I sent another request on behalf of a family member called Evie. And then not long after this, she got exactly the same letter as I had, with a slight colour change. It was exactly the same as the letter that I'd received, in fact. And now she followed the instructions that Popoff sent to the letter, except she didn't send the money, but she had a much better excuse than I did, because she doesn't have any money. She hasn't got the ability to follow her instructions. She's a dog. She's quite a cute dog, but I was still quite surprised that God would show an interest in the finances of a canine, so I thought, how far can I take this? So then I sent another request, and this time I sent the request on behalf of the distinguished gentleman on the next slide, who's called Dr. Stankelhuber. He's an eminent psychiatrist, or at least he would be if he wasn't a worry-eater stuffed toy. And so who thinks that Peter Popoff sent a request of money to Dr. Stankelhuber? Of course he did. He sent exactly the same letter as he sent to me and to Evie, and he keeps getting them. He's got about a dozen so far, so has Evie. And then in anticipation of this talk, I actually made one more request, and I actually have here 3 letters that he sent so far to Ignite Liverpool, and you're all so this is all quite amusing until you realise that he actually sends lots of these to people who are vulnerable and who are elderly, and who might respond to all of them with cash. And so this is where I ask for some audience participation, and not right now. I want you all to do this Google search with quite amusing results, and I would love him to be inundated with requests if that be at all possible. Now, at this point, you're probably wondering, yeah, but Emma, when did he blow in your face? Well, one of the more interesting letters that I got was an invitation not long ago to go and see a show that he was going to be at live in London, and he was going to do miracles live. It's like, I can't miss this. So me and a couple of friends went down to the show, to the Troxy Theatre in London. It's a 2,000-seater theatre, and it was completely packed out, standing room only, and there was Popoff praising the Lord, laying on of hands and asking for money. And as a conservative estimate, we think he made about £50,000 from the congregation on that day. And at the end he went round everybody and blessed them, grabbed their heads and blew in their faces. And when he came to me, I looked him in the eye and I told him that I was intending to tell as many people as possible exactly what he's doing, and he blessed me. So since I have his blessing, I hope you found it interesting.